Okay, welcome. Thank you very much for clicking on. Now, if you buy and sell antiques, collectibles, or if you're a reseller and you buy and sell anything using any of the platforms, then this video is going to be for you. You're going to want to watch it. It's going to be some eye-openers in this video that are going to help you and hopefully wake you up, or some of you anyway. Um, so, let's get started, shall we? Before I dive into the video, a little introduction. My name is Walter Neal and I am the founder of antiquesarena.com. Antiquesarena.com is classed as one of the largest antique niche websites globally. Thousands and thousands of products, articles, blog posts, you name it, it's all there. Check it out, antiquesarena.com, if you want to know who I am and what I do. And that is what today's video is going to be about. Now, I've been preaching for the last 5 years, 6 years, for people to start taking back control, stop selling on platforms like eBay, and start doing their own website. Not many people have listened to me, quite a few have, and they've done okay. But not many people have took the plunge because everybody feels safe on eBay. Let's see how safe you feel by the time I finish today's video. Now, as most of you know, eBay is free to sell for the general public. In fact, what I think eBay is hoping for is a platform where the public sell their items privately, then re-spend that money they generate back on the site, and it's all interworked between private people. They generally, in my opinion, don't really want or value the business sellers. And why I say that was the feeling I got when I was there, based on the fact that for private sellers, when I used to sell on eBay, private sellers used to get things like free listing day or zero commission for listings and things like that. As a business seller, I never had any offers. And even now, they've made it free for the public to sell on there, but yet people who sell hundreds and thousands of products on there still got to pay because they're a business. Now, if eBay can make money off the private sellers with no fees, then surely they could do the same with the business sellers, but they choose not to. Now, what that tells me is, first of all, they value the private seller far more than they do the business, and maybe their vision is eventually to create this bubble where people sell stuff and buy stuff and everything all within the same bubble. They leave their money there, they sell something, they use the same money to buy something. That's what I think maybe their vision is. Anyway, if you're a business seller, then you're going to want to see the fees, and I'm going to share them with you in a moment. If you're a private seller, be very careful, because once you exceed a threshold of, I think is about £1,700 or a certain amount of items, HMRC become involved. So if you're not declaring everything for tax purposes, you can get in a lot of trouble. And this is law. So eBay, Etsy, Facebook Marketplace, all of them, they all have to present your data, your name, your address, how many sales you've had, how much you've generated to HMRC. So let's just assume you're all legal and that's all good. Moving on to the business sellers. I'll share with you some metrics. Hope this gives you an eye-opener. Okay, I came to Google Gemini, just a simple AI tool on Google. And I said, give me a breakdown of the fees for business people as published now, but relate them all to antiques and collectibles genres. So basically glass, ceramics, art, jewelry, etc. And I said, give me the fees in simple form so I can understand them. I just didn't want no jargon, none of this text. I just wanted to see the fees. So we come down here. The final value fee for antiques is 10.9%, same for collectibles, art, and pottery and glass. That is across the board as standard. Higher fees for jewellery and watches are 14.9%. They do come down a little after £1,000, but to £1,000, 14.9%. 12.9 for crafts, and for home and DIY, it's 11.9. I'm going to explain what all this means to you in just a moment. Now, there's hidden compounded fees as well that you don't really realise. You've got a fixed transaction fee, which is 30 pence per order. A regulatory operating fee, which is 0.35% of the total sale. You then get 20% VAT on top of everything. Then comes promoted listings. So as if things weren't bad enough, eBay are now saying, well, in order to sell your items, you're going to have to promote them. And do you have any idea on how much eBay recommends people use for promotion now? Now, bear in mind, you can start at 2% promotion. That means you give 2% of your turnover to eBay for promoting, all the way up to 100% of your listing. Why anybody would want to give 100% of their item to eBay, I have no idea. But do you have any idea what the actual recommended level of promotion is? So this screenshot was sent to me by Kieran from Taliesin Antiques this week, so thank you very much for that. And this was actually on his promoted page. Low ad rate may limit performance. Apply suggested ad rate of 25%. That's right here on the left. They recommended 25% of his turnover for promotion. And that will generate him 170% more visibility on average, which gives him preferential ranking in ad placements across eBay, pay per click, only pay for clicks on your ads, multiple sales on multiple quantity listings, especially useful in high competitive categories, and exclusive access to the top search ad placement. So they're actually suggesting he gives now 25% of his product purchase price away for eBay to promote it. There is also another fee that Gemini missed. So we have, first of all, we have the final value fee, the fixed transaction fee, the promoted listing of 25%, the regulatory operating fee of 0.35, but we also have shop fees. Now, shop fees, basic shop fees are £27 for a small business, featured is £77, and an anchor for the homepage is £437 for a month for shop fees. So I thought what I would do, I would ask Gemini, I said, let's run a case study. Let's assume a seller turns £500 in sales in a week in the jewellery trade and has a basic shop, and they use 25% promotion. I skipped that because it didn't actually include the shop within the calculation, right? In fact, let's go through it. So anyway, the final value fee on £500 for 14.9% was £74.50. The fixed transaction fee on 20 sales at 30 pence each was £6. Doesn't sound a lot to 30 pence, does it? But on 20 items, that adds up to £6. The regulatory operating fee is £1.75, and the promoted listing fee was £125. So the promotion was the highest part, right? But bear in mind now, because it redone it to include the £27, right? So it redone it here, £27 on the shop subscription. Anyway, basically on a £500 turnover, the total fees paid to eBay were £256.80. Remaining revenue before stock and overheads was £243.20 out of 500. That was a final percentage of revenue taken of 51.36%. So if you don't think eBay is taking the biggest slice of the pie, you're seriously mistaken. eBay took over half of that listing, that example. just by using the standard displayed costs and the recommended 25% promotion. You imagine if somebody's using 30% promotion, 40% promotion, 50% promotion, then the average costs on top. Then on top of that, you got to buy your product, you got to pay your expenses, your fuel and your gas and your entrance fees if it's antique fairs and so forth, and then you got to pay for your time. So if you're struggling in the antiques and collectibles industry on eBay and you're wondering why, this is why. If everybody is promoting their listings and promoted is getting pushed to the top of the page straight away, if everybody is promoting the listings now, right, that means promotions get put before anybody. You get priority placement in the results. And the more you pay, the higher up you go. So surely that's a desperation tax. So the more desperate people get, the more they need the sale, they're going to start going, okay, well, I have to use promote, I need the sales. And then they need to go more promote and more promote and more promote until where does it end? You're not making any money. You're getting sales, but you can't survive. And you're sat there thinking, I've made £1,000 and I got nothing left. I didn't make any profit. And there are more and more changes coming in over the next month or two. I watched a video, or I saw a video the other day warning about changes to a promotion and things like that coming in January. I didn't watch it all, so I'm not sure what they are, but check out. There are a lot of changes coming in within January. So I thought it was bad when I was selling on eBay 6-7 years ago, and I was giving over 25-30% of my turnover to eBay. That's why I left. Now it seems people are giving 51% of the turnover based on that case study. Now, it doesn't mean, for example, that everybody is going to say 25%, but if it's recommending it, then people are obviously using it. It's that simple. It wouldn't recommend 25% if that wasn't the norm, or maybe a fraction above the norm so that you can actually stand out within promotion. But then the more people that promote it, the higher that norm is going to get until people are giving away 50-60% of their item for promotion because it's the norm and everybody's doing it. And if you don't, your item sits at the bottom. Now, before I get on to the rest of the video, there is one way to combat that. Don't do any promotion whatsoever and have and buy unique items. If you buy items that cannot be compared to 100 other sellers, whether you promote them or not, if someone searches them, they're going to find you. That is one actionable tip. If you go out and you buy a painting by a listed artist, how many of them that artist's paintings are going to be on eBay at any one time? Use your brains. There's ways of going around it. If you're determined you want to stay on eBay, look for ways around the promotion just like that. Now, 6 years ago, I had a shop in Mountain Ash Town Centre, as you know. The world came to a standstill. And I decided there and then that I was not going back on eBay. I wanted control on my business. I wanted to keep all my money. If I sell a £100 item on my website, I get about £99 or £98 back. There are costs involved in a website. Obviously, you've got hosting costs, building costs, and running costs, and things like that. But they add up to be such a minimal percentage, 1, 2, 3% of your overall turnover in the year. Very, very negligible. Versus 51.5%, give or take, but they're on eBay. In a moment, I'm going to share analytics and screenshots with you. I have built in 6 years single-handedly what AI classes as one of the largest antique websites globally within 6 years. That's a bold statement, isn't it? Done it single-handedly, listed every single item myself, wrote all the blog posts, done all the SEO work, all the metadata work, done it all. and there was a time I couldn't turn a phone on. Let me share some with you. As I've already said, my website is antiquesarena.com. Take a look at these metrics. I have just done this screenshot about 5 minutes ago. And as you can see, there's 43,000 active users been on the site in the last 30 days, 56,000 views, which equated to 188,000 events. What events means is basically it's page views, links they've clicked on, items they've bought, pages they've visited, that type of thing. 188,000 events. And that was over 45,000 sessions, which means some people have come back multiple times. They are astonishing figures. And do you know what else? This is a screenshot of my Uber Suggest ranking. Take a look on the bottom left down there. No paid keywords. I am paid for no paid keywords and no ads for my website Antiques Arena. Everything has been organically driven. So I've used YouTube, I've used blog posts, articles, and products, and metadata, and search engine optimization, and I've basically found unique products that people come searching for on Google, and it brings in the people. My website has got 11,246 backlinks and a domain authority of 24, with 7,064 organic keywords. Okay, I don't rate the organic keywords, but the AI thinks that's brilliant. However, it gets better. This is an image that I done today. It's a screenshot of my Google AdSense. Now, it's taken me nearly a year of work. I told you I'm not very tech savvy, but I have managed to get my website monetized. So I now serve adverts on my website the same as most people do on YouTube and other platforms. At the moment, it's very, very messy because it takes AI up to a month or 2 months to actually learn the behavior of your viewers or your readers and so forth, and figure out the best places to put the adverts. So at the moment, you go on the website, there's adverts everywhere, but they will calm down. I've been assured of that. Anyway, this is my Google Ads. You can see me there in the corner by there. This is my Google Ads account, right? And you can see there the time period was October the 1st to October the 31st versus September the 1st to September the 30th, all right, in 2025. My competitors, who has similar visibility, see who appears together with you in search results when customers are looking for products like yours. They are comparing me to the likes of ebay.co.uk and etsy.com. That's who they're putting me in with. They're not putting me in with other and small antique websites, things like that. My direct competitors are eBay and Etsy. That's how many views I drag into my website. Another metric here, which is on Google Analytics again. In one day's activity, on the 10th of this month, 25, I was expected to receive 1,265 visitors. I received 2,712. And what that means is 75%, 75th percentile, 306, which means I am beating 75% of the market only achieves 306 views or less. My peers receive around 82 views. I'm getting 2,712. And the 25th percentile, which is the remaining, get 32 views. I am about 30 times more views than my peers. I've done a massive article on it. If you come to my website, antiquesarena.com, click on blog posts, come down and you'll see here, how I built a high traffic antique website with 0 ads and a solo founder. And if you click on that, you'll find in here is an entire article on how I built the website, how I drove traffic. It is a raw website. It is a raw article. I'm brutally honest. But I'm not telling anybody what to do. This is literally what I'm doing is I am saying to people that this is what I've done. Take away from me what you want and hopefully it will help. Bear with me a second. I want to share something with you. Here we go. Here is a question I put to ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT this question. From the screenshots, metrics, this one-man band website is competing with eBay.com, ebay.co.uk, and the only competitors listed in Google Screenshots, meaning its performance matches that level. So does that make it one of the largest and best performing websites in the world in its niche? I come back and said, yes, based on the metrics and Google Ads and analytics benchmarking in your screenshots, Antiques Arena is unquestionably one of the top performing privately owned antique set websites globally. That was ChatGPT, but it goes into breaking it all down as to why. So if you want to have a read, right, of this article, it's an amazing article, but it is very brutal, very honest. Right, tells you exactly what it took for me to actually build this website, how to get it where it is. But there you go. Antiques Arena qualifies as one of the largest and best performing independently owned antique websites in the world. And that was an AI search. It ran a search on my metrics, it done a scan on my website, and it searched Google and the rest of the internet, and that's what it come up with. Go and read that article honestly. If you don't mind some brutal honest truths, go and read the article. And you will find it very interesting. Now, the reason I'm sharing this video is because it's not too late. It is never too late. I tell you in that article how I got my website. I tell you how I drive views and traffic, everything. I talk about compounding interest. It's all there. Everything. That article outlines my journey for the last 6 years, basically. And it goes from starting the website with 0 views, 0 stock, just building the website, all the way through to generating tens and tens of thousands of visitors, about 8,500 products, unique historical pieces, hundreds of, or 100 plus, let's put it that way, blog posts and articles on educational content. I've linked it to my YouTube, so I got 41,500 subscribers on YouTube. It's all linked. I've made one big loop. So my website sends people to YouTube, YouTube sends people to my website, and vice versa, and it all supports and grows itself. But if I sell a £500 item today, I bet you £475, £480, give or take, something like that, stays with me. Is mine. If you sell a £500 on eBay, £500 item on eBay, using promote and looking at their fees, if you're a business, you're getting 48.7% back, give or take, something like that. Now, if that's not reason alone for you to want to start a website or consider alternate ways of selling, then I don't know what is. Because if you were sitting there thinking, I'm doing the work, I'm listing the stock, I'm selling the stock, I'm buying the stock, but I'm not making any money or I'm not getting anywhere. You know, I might be scraping the top of the water, surviving. Then, yeah, that's why. Especially if you're using eBay Promote. Having a cider today instead of a whiskey. So, This is going to be a general content video. If you've got any questions or you want any particular aspects of this covered, now my YouTube channel's already got a lot of stuff on there teaching you how I did what I did. If you're on my membership side, then it's got videos on metrics and tracking and everything else. Even my haul videos are full of tips and secrets and ways to find stock cheap and things to look for. If you want to be a member, it's £1 a week. That is all it is. And you get access to all my videos at £1 a week. If you're not and you just want to stay on the free side, that's absolutely fine too. I'm very grateful. But yeah, if you sell on eBay, and this isn't just a UK thing, this is a global thing from what I understand, from what everyone is saying to me. But bear in mind, when they take that final value fee, one of the calculations that Jem and I didn't take into consideration because I didn't give it to it was the postage. You pay final value fee on postage as well. So whilst they were saying you retain 48.7% of your sale price, if you sold 20 items and each item was £5 postage, that is another £100. You lose £10 again. So you would lose an additional £10 on that £251 that they took. It'd be £261 plus VAT again, so about £263. Because it didn't take into consideration postage, even £5 an item, because you can't send anything really. It's all got to be tracked. And I use Royal Mail, so anything thicker than a letter goes small parcel. So you take a jewellery box, it's a small parcel, and you want it signed, then it's £4 or £5. So just roughly, they're taking 53, 54, 55% of your turnover if you use 25% promote. And if you're using more than 25% promote, then please explain to me how you're making a living, because I genuinely don't know. Anyway, as I've said, my name is Walter O'Neill, and I'm the founder of antiquesarena.com. And I have prided myself in building an e-commerce platform with unique items, with good, solid articles, and just a nice space to browse and just enjoy antiques in general. Anyway, go check it out, and if you're not on my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you soon. But honestly, if you're selling on eBay, they got all the power. It seems like they got most of the money. What do you actually get out of it? Because I challenge you now, before I sign off, to click on, if you are selling on eBay, click on 4 or 5 of your items on eBay. 4 or 5 of them, and take a look at how many views you've actually achieved on those items. And you wonder why, with the views I get per month, that I'm competing with eBay and Etsy. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this inspirational. And if you do decide you want to build a website, and you do want to start taking control of a business and your own business, then reach out to me and we'll see what we can do to help you. I am in the process of now creating courses, which will be handy and useful, and they'll all be broken down into little courses. So yeah, but we'll see what I can do to help. But I've got loads of videos anyway. The videos are all there on my channel. How I built my website, my creation video, how I learned antiques, everything. It's all there on my channel. So if you want to sit down and spend the hours watching, you will learn. It's that simple. I'll see you soon.